Oh boy. Let's start with the good. It's not going to be a lot. I do apologize, but it's not going to be a lot. The design, the overall art direction, the overall. I would argue even level design is good, but like the doodad design, the specific design of individual objects is very nice. And I see a lot of Czech names there as well. Oh my god. I hope I don't see a name that I know, but never mind. They're the little detective kind of board game, very simple one, detective deduction game, was appreciated. I enjoyed that bit. There are only 3 boards though in the game, which is pitiful. I'm looking at what, 6-hour mark? 6.5 hours. I spent some of that time AFK. I would say like 6 hours is where we are at in the game. That was most of the good. I'm sorry, but that was most of the good. The game is very derivative. Exceedingly so. In the imagery it uses, in the locales it uses, winks at stuff from different entertainment things, like, weirdly, Detroit Become Human? I'm sorry, like, Nick Cage is not a great person, but... Cage? It's not Nick Cage, Jesus. It's Cage, but not that Cage. It's the other Cage. Is it Nick Cage? David Cage, yeah. I knew it's a Cage, that it's no different Cage. David Cage is not a great person, but he can write circles around this shit. At multiple points, this felt like Detroit Become Human very, 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 very light. There was a kernel of an idea. Basically the live forever, transplanting consciousness, and like our bodies running out, and try to set it in like a noir setting. But I have the same feeling as I had with Fort Solis. This feels like this is like they ran out of money. This feels like they had, like, I played, I don't know, 4 hours of prologue and like an hour of in the middle, an hour of epilogue, and like I'm missing like 15 hours of a game. Because, like, the Sarah connection, they did not flush the connection with the main character out. They essentially started talking... Oh my god, the Unreal Engine logo, I didn't even get to that. They started talking, and at the start of the game, like, first time, after, like, 2 discussions, they're buddies. I tried to play it up, like, okay, I'm going to play... Oh no. This had some... official Polish taxpayer money going into it. I'm so sorry, people from Poland. You should have the money spent elsewhere. They were immediately buddy. They, like, the relationship become much deeper than it had any right to be. The end, I just don't know what they wanted to do with the Sarah character. And this, like, goes for all of the characters, really. Like, the fact... Somewhat spoilery, obviously, but... The main character had that... Okay, like, the trauma with the wife, but they didn't develop it to anything. It was just a constant. They didn't... Like, I thought that they're going to do something with the murder aspect, that it's his inner self fighting against the transplantation into the new body, and it's like... And they didn't go anywhere really with it. Like even the scene with the train where he was like, "Oh, did I do this to my? Was I the one who did the crime that basically pushed me to be in the current body I am?" Like they didn't do anything with it. It was just trauma transport to the end section, like to the end location. Just some random lines, really, nothing specific as far as to what's happening. Then that shootout, it just makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Narrative, like, I don't know, like, the character development is not there. Narratively, they went all over the place. At the start, it seemed like a very slower pace game. The first green kind of investigation was pointing to, like, okay, this is going to take a little bit. That's why, like, when we jumped from the second investigation to the train wreck, that was the train wreck, literal train wreck, and Sarah and all that. I was just like, where is this coming from? You are just taking random scenes from the Matrix, plugging them in. That whole last sequence was what the actual fuck. Like, I don't have any way how to criticize that. Like, it completely fell apart. The way how the police chief shot him in front of everyone, because I don't know, that kind of just fine. So there were a couple of characters. There was not a, I would say there was a little bit of characterization, but there was no character development across the entirety of the game. Essentially, all the characters and the game as they started, there was nothing changed. Nothing changed for Sarah, nothing changed for James. Well, nothing. As far as his character goes, nothing changed for him. Nothing changed for the... Like, nothing changed. The rich will keep being in power in the city. That's what I got from the implication of the end video, because that's not... That whole construct was not something the poor would do. So the status quo remained unchanged, so I'm not really sure where they wanted to go with the murder subplot at all. Like, this just feels they run out of money. That they wanted to develop this further. They had something written up, but the voice lines, like, I personally feel that the voice actors were good, but the voice direction was absolute ass. I think the main actor was trying way too hard, or the the voice actor for the playable character, for James, was trying way too hard. This is the English dub. He was doing that rough voice. It was like immediately apparent that that's not his voice. He's doing a voice, and he's doing that voice for the entirety of the game.
Having a goal, any goal, is better than inactivity. An alternative to focusing on the symptoms and the memories. I'm 120 years old, and I don't have any strength left to keep recalling the past.
The voice lines just were coming in like a huge amount of whiplash. Like, you consistently, like, voice lines that are not serious enough for a given situation, or
a mortal wound. Why can't I remember anything? It's starting to look like a graveyard on wheels. I'm moving to reconstruction.
Or vice versa, you know, like, they're doing serious voice lines and you're just basically walking. It's just like...
A great day for scrap dealers. Not for anyone else.
Huh? Like, they didn't really... Some lines, yeah. In the Twitch chat, there is a comment that some lines were recorded on a home studio and just sent over. There are definitely lines where I felt that there was correction in a line and the quality was different. Two lines with Sarah that were like, yeah, the quality just dipped.
Or Green's plan played out with Kovalev's help.
Mm-hmm. How do you figure?
Fuck, I don't know. He has access to some advanced tech. He managed to make contact with you in the Red Room. He knew everything that happened. Like he was in Green's head. I thought Green just committed suicide, but now I'm having a tough time buying that. Sorry, I've got a lot of thoughts. What do you think? Who's behind?
That's that. Visually, Unreal Engine 5. Unreal Engine 5, I'm just going to kick the dead horse a little bit. 5.5 specifically. A newest iteration of Unreal Engine, I believe, that I have seen. It's bad. Let me see, even on the, like, look at what I'm looking at. This is 70% loading the GPU. what is so great, that all the characters look like rubber. I don't believe that these characters... Detroit Become Human looks much better. And I'm like, okay, you want to use a different example? I always go back to Days Gone, which is an Unreal Engine 4 game, albeit customized, heavily customized on Unreal Engine 4, but Unreal Engine 4 still. Look at other examples, you can do this much better, and there is just no, like, for how it looks bad, and it requires a lot of resources to look this bad. There's no excuse. Like, what am I looking at? 53 FPS. What am I looking at that's so difficult to render? I don't care about it. At low, it's still 87%. What the 80% on low. What am I looking at here? I'm sorry, but if you're like a small studio, you use Unreal Engine 4 if that's an option. Don't use Unreal Engine 5. It's just bad. Gameplay wise, the player was provided 3 tools: a reconstructor, a UV lamp, and an X-ray machine. These worked diegetically incoherently. The reconstructor worked the best because you actually had to do some kind of police work, detective work, to be able to start using the reconstructor. The reconstructor is just the same tool that you use in Detroit Become Human, just stretched out for like more use. It was visible that they tried to stretch it because realistically, like, one of the middle reconstruction, the middle work, the second, the one in the blip, took way longer than it should. Like, that was 2 times as long as it should have taken. But at least that was tactilely like, okay, this is fine. You know, it's not original, but it was well enough executed where I'm like, okay, whatever. The other 2 tools, the X-ray and the X-ray was worse because you had to be prompted by dialogue for the X-ray machine to work. So you were in a given time period, you opened the X-ray tool, you used it, and there was nothing. No, like, okay, where did they shoot from? Where is this? Where does this electricity come from? Nothing. But then the main actor or the secondary actor said the voice line. Suddenly the tool started to work, which is bullshit, of course, because you shouldn't be able to be prompted by dialogue. That the dialogue shouldn't affect the tool usage.
There was a major firefight here before the derailment. I'll check where the shooter was.
This is what I hate about this kind of thing. I already pulled up the X-ray because I knew the game is going to do X-ray, going to require X-ray, and those lines were not there. They are there now. The UV lamp was much worse because the UV lamp was exclusively used to like detect bloodstains, and they're trying their hardest. But I'm like, dude, you're detecting bloodstains. There's in the blip. You were in the present. Supposedly you were detecting, like, you were moving around the timeline, and supposedly, like, okay, there are bloodstains that you could see in the past. There was no cleanup. That was explicitly mentioned that this is like an active scene, crime scene. Why wouldn't you see the bloodstains in the present? Why do you need a UV lamp for that? No one, like, you know, you have a character that's actively bleeding out, walking a distance, and you don't see the blood splatter only under the UV lamp. Doesn't make any fucking sense. the train situation when, oh, the blood evaporated, so you need to use the UV lamp. Why? I completely jettison the UV lamp. It's so redundant. In the first investigation scene, the green murder scene, they explicitly... And that scene was the worst. I think they didn't, like, you could see that the subsequent scenes, at least they didn't include it in the dialogue explicitly, but in the first investigation, they explicitly was saying, oh my god, well, he was bleeding out. Well, you will probably see something under the UV lamp, and I already had the UV lamp in hand, and I was just waiting for dialogue to end, so that I can use them, like, game, really? And then, you know, the next two was like, oh, maybe you will see something under the X-ray, and I'm like, yes, you already tutorialized this. I know how to use these tools. Please stop talking about these tools.
Another trace of blood.
Hit it with the UV lamp.
It stretches across the floor. I'll switch to UV.
Explosion.
As long as this shit glows under UV light, yeah, I think so.
The marks will be visible under UV.
Someone shot through the suitcase lock. I'll check for ballistic trajectories. You know what they say. Follow the trail of blood.
Nobody says that.
And we're following the trail of blood. Again. You know, like they say you're supposed to.
The tools were kinda... Honestly, this reminds me a lot of Fort Solis. This had a huge promise. Absolutely, utterly botched in execution. The biggest insult is the writing for me. I could forgive a lot of this. A lot of the, okay, the gameplay is okay, whatever. But the dialogue and the writing was absolutely, like, this was red wine when I started this stream 2 hours ago. I was like, okay, I will probably need one to get through it because, Jesus Christ. I poured another glass. It's that bad. I do apologize if I hurt someone's feelings with this, if the original writers ever see this. This game needed to be completely rewritten. I don't think there is saving this. The whole... Okay, you can save the kernel of the idea. You have to completely rewrite this. You have any chance of salvaging this. And, you know, execution can take you only so far. You have to have solid foundations, and this game had absolutely horrible foundations to start with. For me, the how it looks, the stylistic choices and the mechanical gameplay is the house that's built on a solid foundation of good writing and proper sequencing, good character development. There is none of that in this game. These type of games have to have good characterization, proper writing, good world building. You had something, even with the world building, you had kernels of good ideas there. You have to develop that. No, please, back to the drawing board. I think that's, you know, the sun started to shine since I'm at the end of the monologue for this game. Let's delete it forever. Yeah, 85 out of 100. My ass. Jesus H. Christ. No. Just no.